Hello everyone and welcome back to this video. So today we're going to take a look at the latest technologies the Java stack and the Spring stack has to offer. But without further ado, let's dive in. So I'm now going to walk you through the necessary steps, step by step. First thing that we need to do is to make sure that our build tool is compatible with Java 20. I'm using Gradle here, and for Gradle, everything that is version 8.1 up is ready to go. I also want to mention that with the latest Gradle version, there is a change. Previously, the default for Gradle were Groovy files, and now they are Kotlin files, which look like this. They look very similar. The big benefit is if you're using Kotlin anyways, this will be a big help, and it has a lot of other benefits too. Okay, first thing that we need to do, of course, is to set our new JDK. So I go into IntelliJ that I'm using here. If you haven't already downloaded the latest JDK, you can just do it like this, download JDK 20. But if you have it downloaded already, we can just go to project, we say JDK 20, and that's it. And if we now hit the build button, the build should break eventually. It takes some time because there are further things that we have to do. So now we are being told that Jacoco is not working. And this is a problem you will have with pretty much everything that needs to scan your already built classes. For example, Lombok, which I'm not using anymore, could also be a thing. Fortunately, there is a fix. It tells me that Jacoco version 8.8 is not working. So what we just need to do is to have a new section here, which is Jacoco. And then we say just tool version. And we say we want to use version 8.9. We can re-import, build again, and eventually this should work. Yeah, it takes some time. And now we are good to go. Okay, what's next? Of course, what we also need to do is to upgrade our base image. So currently I'm using the base image version 17 for my container build, and this will not be compatible. So I have to upgrade to a JDK 20 version here. Unfortunately, there is no Eclipse. There is no IBM version currently ready, which I prefer because it uses less RAM. So we have to go for Temurin here. And then, of course, to make any sense of this, we need to update the Java language version to version 20. So we are good to go here. We can now build container image. So we will do this in a moment. Unfortunately, what is not working are native images, both local and inside the container. So why is that? The problem is that the current GraalVM version is not compatible with Java 20. There is an upcoming version, 23 of GraalVM, but this was planned for next week and is now pushed back to June of 2023, so in a couple of months. So unfortunately, this is not working. But everything else should now be fine. So we can try that we do our JIP build here. So try to build a container. It's starting, doing some tests, and it should then build and push the image. Takes a moment. I already copy out this guy here. Okay. Docker run should pull the image, start, and we already started with Java 20. Okay, we are still on the old Spring Boot version, and finally, this is also something we will fix. So we will now upgrade Spring Boot to the latest version 3.0 milestone 2. There is still no final version ready, but the final version is already on the horizon. We will build our container again. Takes a moment. And then afterwards, finally, we should have everything together. Latest Gradle, latest Spring and latest Java version all working fine together. And there we go. We have Java 20, we have Spring 3.1 M2. Let's do a simple request to verify that everything is working. So we go to localhost 50,900, say my name, and it's working. We can shut down the container, and that's it. One more thing to mention, of course, is if you are using GitHub Actions like me, you also need to configure this. So your GitHub action needs to use Java 20 also, and you have to make sure that you're using Gradle 8.1. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the build process. Now you may ask, what's the benefit of all the upgrades? I'm glad that you asked. So we have different things here. So for Java 20, which is very similar to Java 19, the biggest improvement is the support of Project Loom for virtual threads. If you want to know more about Project Loom and virtual threads, there is a link into the description for another video from me where you can take a look. For Spring Boot 3.1, it's mostly dependency upgrades. There are a lot of native hints added that makes it easier to work with native images. One of the things is Elasticsearch support finally. There is support for test containers for testing. And for everything else, there are release notes in different versions. Here is the test container part. You can take a look. The release candidate will be out next week, and there may be new things to offer, but basically think of it as a maintenance release with mostly dependency upgrades and some fixes. Also, I want to mention there is also Quarkus 3.0 on the horizon, which basically also has a lot of dependency upgrades. It has Hibernate 6 and Jakarta EE10, and direct support for Loom is on the horizon. If you want to know more, there is also already a video for Quarkus 3.0 that I made. Find that in the description. Okay, that's already it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.